Hi guys, hi everybody. I am back with my vlogs. I haven't done a video in so long. To be honest, I've been, everywhere, all over the place, and I wanted to update you on a couple of things. First thing, like what's going on with my carnivore journey and what I've been doing or not doing. And then I wanted to share with you where I've been in the last week. I went to a meditation retreat at Joe Dispenza and just share with you my experience and how I feel now and like what happened. And I just had so many realizations, and I'm just super excited to share everything with you. So we're gonna start with the first thing with my gut, bloating, and carnivore diet. As you know, I've been carnivore for the last 6 months. I'm gonna be completely honest, like I kind of went off the rails. So I haven't really been following a carnivore diet for the last couple of weeks, and how it started was just with like one event, one party where I've had some food, and then the next day and the next day, and before you know it, you're like fully not doing it. I was still kind of eating like a couple of meals a day which were carnivore, but then I was starting to have ice cream every day and this and that. And of course, when I went to the event as well, I was staying in a hotel, and it's just been so hard. There's a whole buffet of food and all sorts of things, and even if it wasn't tasty, I still wanted to try everything. So I have had some fruit and carbs, nothing like too crazy, but I have been having ice creams, and straight away I noticed inflammation, of course, in my body. Like I could feel it like in my stomach. I have inflamed all over, like because my water is water retention and stuff. So basically you can definitely see like straight away when you're not doing it properly, you can see a massive difference. However, I've been back on it this week and I really feel better. I'm just feeling like following like a strict carnivore again, and I do feel like my symptoms still are much better, like comparing to last year. If I compare like myself to how I ate and like how I was scared and how I used to blow up like crazy and go to the hospitals, like I've made a huge progress this year. And like right now I am inflamed a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not too bad. Can't show you my belly, but it's like a little inflammation, but nothing too crazy. And I have been taking obviously the supplements and everything, so I'm carrying on with everything, and lots of probiotics. And my plan basically is to kind of stick to carnivore as much as I can and then do like a clean carnivore where I'm just going to experiment with just beef and salt for a month and see how that changes my gut and stuff. What also has been happening is that I've been going through a lot of personal journey and experiences, and I was going to do a video about that too, but time keeps running away from me. But I realized like that I had a lot of anger from my past, which has actually been stored in my stomach, in my gut. And a lot of the times we don't realize, but our emotions are in our body stuck, and they can be stuck for years and years and years, especially all the negative things like anger, sadness, frustration, fear, anxiety, all of these things, they can be stored in your body, and these are in the forms of emotions. And that's what I realized as well by going to a meditation retreat, spending so much time with myself, meditating, being like in your own head and kind of like understanding what and why has happened, and releasing that, releasing these emotions actually made my stomach feel better. So I do think, I'm not saying, because I have been told this before, that people were like, oh, it's just your emotions, just maybe it's the anger or whatever. The thing is, it's not that easy to, first of all, admit that you can have like any negative stored emotions in your body, and second of all, you might not even be aware that you have that. Like I wasn't aware until I started doing deep counseling into my childhood, into understanding why I could potentially be angry, what wasn't okay, when I was little, because your memory tends to fade out, you forget things. And third thing is that if you're not aware and you don't know, obviously you just live your life and you think whatever, I'm just bloated, but it has something to do with your emotions as well. Not everything, I don't believe in that. I still believe that I damaged my gut through all the antibiotics and everything, but I'm definitely getting better, and I'm feeling the best on the carnivore diet. Like I haven't felt this good in any lifestyle of eating, and I'm going to carry on. And I do actually, have been doing it for 6 months, and I would never suggest or encourage anyone to do anything, without researching, but I can honestly say that for me personally, especially with my pain and the gut issues and inflammation, this has been the best sort of lifestyle eating for me. And you know, I didn't really believe in it myself, and the only thing I can say is just try it for 30 days and see how you feel. It's really hard to break our concepts in our head, especially if you're used to eating vegetables and beans and all of that stuff and used to trying it all. It's really, really hard. Ideally, like, my goal is to be able to eat anything I want in moderation while sticking to carnivore diet, because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still a full-time job as a chef, and I still have to try and eat cakes. I love that, you know, I love eating out in restaurants, and I wouldn't sacrifice that part of my life in the long term, but I do want to heal, and that's my priority. Now, let me tell you about Joe Dispenza Event. For those of you who don't know, he's basically, I didn't know anything about him before I went to the event, and he just, in summary, teaches people how to basically be grateful for life and how to enjoy life and just live in a present moment, because a lot of us, pretty much 95% of people, live in the past. And what happens is they live in the past and then they transfer that past right into the future, because you do the same behaviors, you have the same triggers, you have the same emotions, and we don't change as humans unless something dramatic happens, unless it's an illness, disease, trauma, somebody dies, right? Like, you then start to reanalyze your life, like, is this what I want? Is this where I'm going? And so a lot of the, you know, meditation, the whole retreat, it's not like a retreat that you can imagine. We had to get up at 5 a.m. We did meditations for 6 to 8 hours a day. Like, that's insane. If you think about it, I did meditations 10 minutes a day, and that was like that was my long meditation. I have done the ones for like 25 minutes, and it was always like so hard for me to find time, but these were like hours. My longest meditation was 4.5 hours. Can you believe this? Like, I couldn't actually believe it myself, because we got lost in time. And it was a lot of lectures, and it was a lot of information, so my brain was in overdrive. And at the end of the day, you know, like, I just realized, you know, that I have been living in my old scenarios. I've been living in the things that I was taught as a child, right? And if you think about it, whatever childhood that you've had, you are probably repeating everything in your adulthood life now. And so it takes really a lot of courage and a lot of like self-awareness to admit that you have, not that you have issues, but you have these things and programs that run you. You know, your body runs you, your habits and comfort runs you, rather than, is this actually what you want? And since I've been doing meditations, like, after, like, you know, 7 days, like, I was really enjoying them. Like, I was able to go into that, you know, world and relax and, like, really not think about anything. So I highly recommend, of course, I highly do. It has changed my view on life even more. I have been evolving and changing in the last 2 years, like, so much. You know, I started researching and doing courses and here and there, and constantly investing in myself. And it just kind of, it's so hard to live in the present moment, let's be honest. Like, how many of you are actually aware of, you know, not thinking, what am I gonna eat? What happened yesterday? You know, while you're doing something, you know. As we obviously develop technology, we're also constantly on our phone, we're constantly distracted. So it has been very, very difficult for a lot of people to just stop and be, like, present, you know, present with someone else, present with whatever you do, present just with one thing. And I think that is the key, like, that I learned from this. It's like we were learning how to sit with your body in silence for hours, right? Because if you can do that, you can be present with everybody. And this is where we lack that connection now with people, because nobody's present anymore. You know, you go to restaurants, you go meet with friends. I mean, hopefully you do have friends that you can be present with and connect and not sit there on your phone. But I see it all over. Like, you know, if you just walk around, if you just go to any places, it's actually, it makes me sad. And I just hope that more people will wake up and be more aware of how we are missing life, you know, by focusing on the past, by being angry at things that happened years ago. Like, we just have to let go, and it's really hard, and you can't just, you know, switch something and just let go. And that's why, you know, I suggest everybody does personal development. Everybody goes into counseling or finds a coach or whatever it is that you need to try and explore yourself, try and become a better version of yourself. And I think that's what it overall has given me, and it made me realize how much I have been living in my old programs, with all the pain and suffering and everything that I've been through. It's almost like so comfortable being in that pain. It's just made me realize something clicked to me. It's like, I don't want that life anymore. Like, I don't want to be associated with that person, that character that has been through so much. Like, I appreciate myself. I am strong. I understand how much I have gone through, and it's really sad and horrible. But then, is this what I want my future to be like? And I don't. And so for me not to attract that anymore, I need to start thinking about the future that I want. And by thinking about the future that you want and acting accordingly, making changes in your life. For example, I'm dedicating now 1 hour a day to meditation, because that is my health and it's my priority. Everything else can wait, because in that hour, I am thinking about the good things, about how I want my future to be. And by focusing my energy on anything, by focusing your thoughts on anything, that's where your energy goes. And I think eventually that's what he was teaching us. Your energy is your biggest resource, and whatever you're thinking about, whether that's stressing out about something that happened, whether that's being angry at someone, or having a fight, or remembering some old argument with some friends or family, you're wasting that energy every single day. You might not even realize, but the energy is getting sucked out of you every single day. And then no wonder why everyone's tired, no motivation, lack of energy, you don't want to do anything, people feeling depressed and anxious, because we're giving our energy away to everything and everyone apart from us. And once you realize that, once it clicks in your head, you're like, hang on a second, why am I doing that? And so for me, it was a huge realization, and made me realize, I try and catch myself, because it's really hard. Like, if you think about this, I've been in this body for 34 years. It's really hard for me to now start adopting new beliefs, new thoughts, be aware, but I'm doing my best. And like, every time I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about something sad, or I'm thinking about something that made me angry or upset, I kind of catch myself. I'm like, whoa, switch off, let's think about something that is actually going to bring you closer to the future that you want. And if you want something good in your future, then you need to focus your energy on that. And kind of that's more of in the simple terms. These are kind of my biggest takeaways, and I just don't want to spend my energy anymore on negative people, on people in my life that make me sad, or I don't feel good around them, because at the end of the day, you only have one life, and we are meant to be here, to have fun. Like, the whole purpose of life is to have fun, to enjoy our experiences. We've been given, so many things, like our bodies, our eyes, like the whole this, right? To experience all sorts of things, to have fun, to enjoy, to travel to places, to see things, not to just become zombies and work and sit on TikTok all day, right? Just kind of enjoy this beautiful planet, this world, enjoy everything that we have to offer, whatever hobbies you have and everything, and just kind of live in the present moment. And I think it's so easy to just go back to your old patterns. And he was also kind of repeating it over and over again in every lecture. He said it will be so easy to go back into the real world and just go back into reaction mode and emotional mode, things or people that can trigger you, and you snap out of that nice state. So basically my goal now is to kind of try my hardest. I know I'm not going to succeed all the time, but I'm going to do my best not to react. Cut out everything and everyone who isn't on my frequency. At the end of the day, you want to be surrounded with people that are lifting you up, making you feel better, giving you energy, not the other way around. Okay, so that's kind of what happened at the retreat. I have been analyzing a lot, and I just feel like more love towards myself, and I feel that I'm getting to know me. By doing meditations, you sit with yourself and you sit with you, and you get to know you, the real you, your feelings, how you actually are, who you are, and reconfirming how much you love yourself. Because I don't know about you, but I never really told myself that I love me. And in these meditations, there were a couple of times when I did, and it made me cry. Like, all these emotions, like a lot of people feel like they're not worthy, they're not loved, they're not worthy, and that's because we are not giving that to ourselves. We're not we're not loving ourselves fully, right? And even though it's said everywhere, you know, everyone's like, oh, just love yourself, it's not that easy, right? But through these meditations, when you sit with yourself and you really hear yourself, that's when I feel it opens up that new level of connection to yourself. And for me, that was like really huge. And now I can hear myself, and every time I'm distracted by social media, by this, problems, end of the world, they constantly try and put us in fear. And another big point, I'm gonna finish soon because this was a huge point for me, that I realized is that, again, 90% of people live in a survival mode. Survival mode means stressful mode. If you think about this, we're constantly running, we're constantly stressed, we're constantly thinking about this, that, and that. We're never ever in a present moment, which means we're in a stressful mode. And what happens when you're in a stressful mode? You think negatively, your negative thought then becomes a belief, your belief then becomes your, you know, everyday thing, and that turns into disease. That's why so many people are sick, and that's why I do think that a lot of the things that I had with my stomach have been related to, you know, all that negativity and thinking. And that's, you know, if you think about it, so many people are getting like really serious illnesses like cancer. That's because there's so much anger and sadness and the negative mind that's in there. You know, there's Louise Hay who writes a book about what your symptoms mean in your body. It's all related because our thoughts basically can either kill us or heal us, and that's it. So whatever you think, that happens, right? You might not even realize that you're thinking this over and over again. And the point is being that when we live in a stress mode, we don't have space or capacity to be in our creative mind. And our creative mind is the love. It's like the creativity, it's that joy, it's that, you know, it's like hearing yourself, being with yourself and enjoying life. And that's why majority of people are constantly in a stress mode. And stress obviously is the worst thing for you. Stress causes all sorts of illnesses, problems, insomnia, anxiety, depression, and you just list them all, you know. And these are not normal emotions. These are altered states of how you're supposed to be. So again, that was a huge realization for me, and I realized, you know, like if I look back at my life, like what have I done? I've been always stressed, and especially in the last few years, you know, I've been so stressed, and like I completely didn't love myself. You know, I was working 16-hour days, I didn't eat properly, I didn't sleep, my anxiety was up, I wasn't happy. And the more I did that, the more unhappy I would get and the worse I would get. And only by, you know, moving here to Mexico, right, when I took that chance, I was like, you know what, I had enough, I need to get out or I'm gonna lose my shit, you know, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I did come here, and my life started to change because I started to enjoy, I started to go for walks, and I was like, hang on, like I'm starting to become better. And so if this is relatable to anyone, if you're hearing yourself, if you're feeling like, oh my god, this is me, I'm stressed out, I don't like my life right now, I'm not enjoying it, I highly encourage you to start looking into meditation, start looking into yourself, start being with yourself, start understanding what is it that you actually want. Are you actually enjoying the job you're in? Are you actually enjoying what you do? Are you actually enjoying people you're with? Do you enjoy your friends? Are you happy with your partner? You know, like all of these questions that we don't like to ask because they're hard questions to ask, because maybe you don't want to know the real answer, but the real answer is always inside of you. And because of all the stress, you can't hear you, so you keep staying in these places, relationships, jobs, and keep going worse and worse and worse. And eventually that's how people develop all these illnesses, and then they get on medication, and what does that do? Just makes it worse. So if it's any relatable, like if you can see yourself or hear yourself, then hopefully I can be your messenger, you know, to give you that small motivation, inspiration to kind of just not giving up on you, and maybe thinking what is it that you want, and trying to connect with yourself, because we're losing touch with ourselves, we're losing touch with our bodies, we're losing touch with everything what we actually want. And start a little bit, start anywhere, and I can guarantee you in 6 months time, in a year, you can be a completely new person. Anyway, this was all what's coming to me. It's a long video, so if you stayed this long, I hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, I will do an update very soon. Just to let you know, I am off to Latvia for the summer to see my grandparents in a couple of days, and yeah, I'll be spending summer there. And then, you know what, I have no plan no plan whatsoever where I'm gonna go or I'm gonna live. But you know what? I'm completely fine with it because I'm open to life. I'm open to experiences, adventures, whatever happens. And now that I'm switching my mindset and focusing only on the positive things, I know only good things will come. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.